Good afternoon to Varandal. Today we will discuss sampling theory. So last day we discussed about what is meant by sample and what is meant by population and what are the sampling methods are there. So in part of this one, we need to discuss that sampling theory. So is it audible now, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let me discuss that what is meant by sampling theory. What it tells us. See, the sampling theory is a field of statistics that is involved with the collection, analysis, and interpretation of the data. So here, from the beginning onwards, we are be discussing about the statistics. The statistics is a part of nothing but is a collection of the data and presentation of the data, analysis, and interpretation of the data. So same thing in sampling theory also. These are the things which can involve in the sampling theory. See, definition of the sampling theory is a field of statistics that is involved with the collection of the data, analysis of the data, and interpretation of the data. So, where we can get this kind of data which is gathered from the random samples of a population under the particular study. For example, as we discussed, the sampling theory is the main collection of the data. So, how we can collect the data? That is the one part. Okay. After collecting data, so how we can analyze our data. So after analyzing the data, how we can interpretation, how we can interpret the results, or how we can interpret the inferences. Okay. So these are the kinds which we are going to discuss in depthly. So this is about the sampling theory. So the application of sampling theory is concerned not only with the proper selection of observations from the population that will constitute random samples. For example, some of the times we can see that so the data can be obtained from the population or sometimes we can take from the samples. So when we are applying the sampling theory, so it is not only concerned with the proper selection observation from the population that will constitute uh, constitute the samples. See, when random sample, we can say simple. See, when we are applying this kind of theories, we can take not only from population, we can take from samples. So, last we discussed about that what is by sample and population. So, if you have the more time, if you have more income, you may spend a lot of amount, and you may, if you are by patiency, you may go and collect all the information with regard to your particular things. Okay, so those who don't have the patience, those who don't have the money, and those who don't have the time, they may be going to collect the information from the only samples. So that is the thing we discussed. Then the sampling theory also involves the use of probability theory. Just a minute, if somebody is going to join. Okay. See, if somebody will joins, please inform me, then I will admit it. Okay. See here the sampling theory, which can also involves the use of probability theories along with the prior knowledge about the population parameters. So here same thing which can involves the use of probability theory along with the prior knowledge about the population parameters. For example, if you know that if you have more knowledge about the population parameters, you may take samples. Okay, so in that case only it can involve the use of probability theory along with the prior knowledge about the population parameters. So why we can take population parameters to analyze the data from the random sample and develop conclusion from the analysis. So generally if you take into account why we can take samples, so in order to get some information about the population, right? For example, I want to know that as I told you that there is the best example. See, I want to take a feedback from the students. So if I take only five feedback from the 5 students, so it I may conclude that so most of the students have the same feedback like 5 members. Nothing but the sample can represent whole population. Here also same thing, which can after taking that data, we can analyze the data from the random sample and develop conclusions from the analysis. Whatever we get results from the analysis, so on the basis of analysis only we will give results or we will conclude about the particular study. Then the normal distribution along with the related probability distributions. So here, if you take into normal distributions and the probability distributions, is a mostly heavily utilized in developing the theoretical background of the sampling theories. For example, when you are going to take a sample, you need to you need to be clear that what type of sampling method you are going to adapt and what is the sampling theory is there. So how many theories are there? Which type of theory is going to adapt? Okay. So on the base of your theory, so whatever you get some results, it should be normally distributed. So generally, most of the statistical people, so after collecting the data, they will verify whether that our data is under the normal distribution or not. So that is the kind of thing we will come to know that after the analyzing the data only, we will come to know that where we can use normal distribution and probability distribution. Then here the sampling theory provides the tools and techniques for the data collection. So as we know that how we can take the samples. So that is the thing that which type of technique we are going to adapt to select a sample. So there are different types of sampling methods are there, which we discussed in last class. That is a random and non-random or probability and non-probability samples. Okay. So keep in mind, please, that the sample theory provides the tools and techniques for the data collection, keeping in mind the objectives to be fulfilled and nature of the population. So why we can when we are going to take a samples, we always keep in mind that so our objectives, what are our objectives, and whether the particular data can be fulfilled or objective of the study or not. That is the main thing. For example, if you want to study about the problems of farmer suicides, okay, if you collect information about the general farmers problems, so the general farmers problems may not reflect the those who committed the suicides, right? Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, when you are preparing the questionnaire, you need to be clear that so what is our objectives. So whatever we are preparing questionnaires, whether the questions are very related to our objective or not. Okay, in that case only we need to take such kind of things. So that is to be fulfilled the nature of the population. At the same time, whatever we are going to take sample, that should be the sample should be can replica of the population. The replica of the population. So generally we can call also sample is a replica of the population. Whatever we take samples from the population, the sample should be a replica of the population. Nothing but it should be represent the whole population or nature of the population or characteristic of the population. Is it clear that what is meant by sampling theory? Hello, dear students. I hope you understood.
Sir, please
Yeah.
repeat this.
Yeah. See, which one? This one? Huh?
Yeah.
See, I'm going to repeat. See, yeah. Sampling theory provides the tools and techniques. See, when we are applying the sampling theories, in the case how we can select a sample. So there are some procedures. So last class we have discussed it that. So what is meant by population? What is meant by sample? How do we select the sample? What are the methods are there? Random or non-random or probability or non-probability? Within the random, what are the types are there? Within the non-random, what are the types are there? So how we can select sample by using certain sampling methods. Okay. So after selecting a sampling method, so we need to go to the field work, right? So when we are asking question to someone or respondent, so whatever we are asking the question, whether the questions are very relevant to our objectives, whatever our objective is nothing but whatever your study objective or research objectives. For example, as I told you that if you want to study on what are the problems faced by the farmers who committed suicides, and if you collect information from the general farmers, it means that normal farmers, nothing but those who did not commit suicides. Okay, so there is some little bit differences between that those who committed suicides and those who did not commit the suicides, right? So that is the case that we need to keep in mind that whatever we are going to ask the questions or whatever whenever we are preparing the questions, nothing but questionnaire, we should be clear that are these questions can replica our objectives, or these questions can fulfill our objectives, right? Have you understood, dear students? I think, what is your name? May I know your name, please?
Sushant Barmal, sir.
Yeah, Banarwal. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, I may give another example. See, for example, I want to take a feedback from you. Okay. So, for example, what type of questions I should ask? Means that, for example, I need to say that this is topic I delivered on this topic. So, what is your opinion regard to that questions only? I need to prefer the questions. But instead of asking that, so if I ask that, what is your name, what is your favorite color, which is your favorite hero, or which is your favorite heroine? See, that are the questions which cannot fulfill my objectives, right? So I need to ask that whether have you understood our particular topic or not in the particular context. Have you understood that particular topic? Okay. If not, what is the reason? If yes, so can you give some brief of how you understood? Okay, like that questions I should ask. Okay, instead of asking what is your favorite color, what is your favorite heroine, who's favorite heroine or hero, like that. So whenever we are asking some questions, that should be we need to check whether these questions can fulfill our objectives or not. Okay, that is called the object is to be filled and nature of the population.
Sir, Satya want to join. Sir.
Yeah, I think I have joined. Satya, have you joined? Yeah, I think. Then, see, the main question is over, that is sampling theory. So, for example, you may have the doubt, instead of taking a sample, why don't we take whole population, right? So, there are two ways to collection of the statistical data. Simple, we can say that there are two ways to collect the information or data. For example, there is the first one is a complete enumeration or census, and second is the sample survey. So complete enumeration or census, for example, what it means that if you, for example, if you want to study in India, for example, so if you want to study about the problems of farmers, for example, so you need to take all the farmers, those who are cultivating the crops in our India. We should go each and every farmer, and we should be collect from the particular farmers, right? That is complete enumeration or census. For example, the government of India will collect the information about the census, right? So every 10 years, once in 10 years, they will going to collect the information about the how many populations are living in particular regions. Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, that is called complete enumeration or census. Then sample survey. Why they can conduct a sample surveys? For example, if they don't have sufficient time and they don't have sufficiency and they don't have the money also, so most of the people will collect or they will do the sample surveys. For example, as we know that that is the NSSO. Have you listened about NSSO?
National Sample
What
Survey
is-
Organization, sir.
Yeah, National Sample Survey of Organization. So which will collect more number of samples and they will do some research and they will publish that NSSO reports or like the 65th report or 65 like that. So they will publish the reports, NSSO reports. So here see, if for example, if the government is going to introduce some schemes, for example, if you take into any scheme in our India or some states, so are they conduct a total enumeration report? They will not, because there are a lot of people are there. So the government has to spend a lot of amount to do some research. Instead of spending more amount, they will spend less amount and they will conduct sample surveys. Nothing but they will take feedback only from some people and they will conclude some results. Okay. So then I will show you that what is mean by complete enumeration. So here, this see if sorry here, E is repeated. See, this is the wrong thing. Sorry for that mistake, typical mistake. If the information is collected on whole population is called complete enumeration. So as I told you that if the information is collected on whole population, nothing but, for example, if you want to do some research in particular state, so you need to collect all the information from all the people. That is called complete enumeration. And data or numerical values contain some information. So as we discussed earlier, so whatever we collect information, the data are the numerical values. Okay, what is your age? Your age is in terms of numbers. What is your income in terms of numbers? So whatever you are taking the numbers, that the numbers can contain some information. That is information with regard to particular variables. And there is an example. See, the government uses census data for policy formulation. For example, in order to provide a public policies, or in order to frame a public policies, what they can do, simple on the basis how many people are living in our society or in our India, so that much they need to spend. I think, but when the government is likely to spend some amount of money for the public welfare, so on the basis of the number of people, so they will spend that amount. So am I clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
See, another example I'm going to give you. See, earlier the Planning Commission, now the Niti Aayog, how they can distribute the funds between the state and center. So on the basis of different categories, for example, first one is the population. So if the population is high in particular state, so they will allocate more for money to that states, right? So when the government is going to conduct some population or census survey, so they will gather information about census, and on the basis of the census only reports, so they will give some funds to the particular states. Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you don't have understood, please ask me now, because about census and enumeration. Okay. Then sample survey. The sample survey collect information on fraction of total population. Nothing but whatever we collect some information from the sample, that is some part or segment or subset or portion of the population. So example is that consumer satisfaction surveys. So most of the people, they will conduct consumer satisfaction levels. For example, if you want, for example, you are using mobiles or laptops. What are the companies, for example, Samsung or Lenovo or Redmi mobile, some other Samsung or other mobiles, what they will do, they will conduct a surveys about the consumer satisfactions. They want to know that those who are using a particular mobiles or some electronic items, so they want to know that whether they are satisfying with their products or not. Okay, so that is a sample survey they will collect, right? And surveys on elections. For example, if you take in a particular state, if election is going to happen, what the news channels and other independent survey organizations, what they will do, they will give the exit polls reports, right? So do you think that will they collect all the information from all the people in particular state? They will not collect all the information from all the people. Only they will take samples in particular constitution, right?
Yes, sir.
So in that case only, there is an example for the sample surveys, election surveys or consumer satisfaction surveys or feedbacks. Okay, so that we can do see. And sample surveys are conducted through the World Bank, world by governmental as well as non-governmental agencies. So most of the governments will conduct the sample surveys, and NGOs, there is a non-governmental agencies, organizations, right? And for example, if you take NSSO, National Sample Survey of Organization, which will conduct in India, right? Then the main question will arise that what is meant by sampling unit? What is a sample? Sometimes they will ask that is there any difference between sample and sampling unit? See, an element or group of elements on which observation can be taken is called sampling unit. For example, if I want to know that what is your opinion on my teaching. So you are my sampling unit. For example, if I want to collect information, for example, if your father is a farmer, for example, if I want to know that socioeconomic conditions of the farmers, right? Or if you want to, if your father is working as a software, so in that case, I want to know that I want to study about the problems of software engineers. So if I select your father is the sampling unit. So that is called sampling unit. The objective of survey help in determining the definition of sampling unit. For example, if the objective is to determine the total income of all persons in the household, then the sampling unit is household. For example, we see when I want to ask the questions that, so how much you are spending? For example, your personal expenditure or family expenditure. For example, if I want to know that household surveys, for example, household survey is nothing but we need to take all the household reports. Nothing but I need to ask that who is the household head, your father or your mother? Okay, how many people are living in your home or house? Then I have to take into consider how many females and how many males are there, how many elders and how many youngers. Okay, so in that case, how much you are spending for education, how much you are spending for alcohol, how much you are spending for some other expenses. Okay, in that case, I need to take all the expenses and I need to take what is your income, household income. Think about if your father and mother is working, so how much you are getting. If your children are, for example, in your family, the children will do some jobs. So I need to take the income of their children also. In that case, the household is our sampling unit. Is it clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the context of sample surveys, a collection of the units like households, people, cities, countries, etc. is called finite population. For example, if you take into account, if you want to know that in your family, if somebody is using all the for example, in your family, all people are using Redmi mobiles, for example, or Samsung or some other mobiles. So if I take feedback from your home only, so shall I consider all the if one person feedback is similar to other family members? May not, because somebody will use internet, somebody may not use internet, somebody will use some other browse, right? So here the person to person, the perception is very different, and the satisfaction level also very different, right? Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the thing. For example, if you take in your classroom, if I give the chocolates to everyone, so if I ask after eating the chocolates, if I ask what is your feedback on the chocolates, so more is the nothing but the taste and that opinion is different from person to person. So that is the sampling. That is the infinite population we can call. Cities and countries is called finite population. And census is a 100% sample. Nothing but what is census? Nothing but when we collecting the sample, 100% sample, that is called census. For example, in your class there are 36 students. For example, if you take or 30 students, if I take 30 students, that is 100% sample, right? That is called census, and it is complete or count of population. Complete of population. Then representative sample. What it means, a representative sample? See here, when we are selecting a sample, that sample should be representative. Okay. So see here, it goes without saying that every sample is considered as a representative sample. Okay. Whatever we select a sample, that should be represent the whole population. So here, if the population has a 30% males and 70% females, then we expect the same, expect the sample to be to have nearly 30% males and 70% females. For example, in our classroom, if I want to take, there are 30 students are there in our class. So 10 from girls, the 20 are boys. So in that case only, I need to select 2 boys from boys and 1 girl from girls. So that is the same proportion. That should be representative. Nothing but their proportion, their percentage symbol. Okay, so there are 20 boys are there. That's why the two people can represent, and there is only 10 girls are there. So from 10 girls, we need to select only one girl to represent the girls. So that is a representative sample. So I told you that here, see, when I told you that stratify random sampling method, so which we need to take a sample representative, nothing but small farmers, medium farmers, large farmers, and marginal farmers. So we will take same proportion, nothing but 10%, 10%, 10%. So that is the case. We can to take that is a representative sample. Similarly, it is expected that a drop of blood will give the same information as all the blood in the body. See, when you want to check, for example, whether you have been suffering from certain diseases, for example, if you take malaria, some other typhoid, some other diseases, so they will take a drop of blood only. So by you taking the drop of blood, they will check whether you have been suffering from typhoid or malaria or some other diseases. Okay, so no need to take all the whole blood from the body. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then the last day we discussed about that sampling frame also, when we discuss about the chart, how we can select the samples. So here the sampling frame, the list of all units of the population to be surveyed constitute the sampling frame. So simple sampling frame, nothing but we need to list out all the names in here, nothing but of the population. So how many population, how many people are there in a certain region or the state or the country. So we need to list out all the people. So that is all the sampling units in the sampling frame have identification particulars. Nothing but we need to write all the names as per serial numbers or roll numbers. See, for example, all the students in a particular university listed along with their roll numbers. For example, if you take into account your BSc honors, so as per your roll number, so your name will be listed, right? So if I want to take 5 students from the BSc honors, so from BSc first year, BSc second year, or BSc third year. So I didn't mention that I need to take only from BSc first year. So I told you that only BSc. So on the base of the different people, so we need to list out. So how many people are listed in BSc third year, how many people listed in the second year, how many people are listed in the first year. So that is a case we need to look at. That is called sampling frame. I hope you understood this sampling frame. Again,
Yes,
Yes, sir.
then see where to ensure the representative. Nothing but how we can ensure the representative. So nothing but how we can select a sample from the particular population. So we discussed that there are two possible ways to ensure that I select a sample is representative. That is a random or probability, non-random, and here typical mistake, non-random and non-probability. So then see up to now I think we have discussed earlier classes. So there's a main question will arise that after selecting a sampling method, what you have to do? Can anybody can say that? So we discussed about sampling frame and sampling units, what are the sampling methods are there, right? So after confirming the sampling method, nothing but after determining the sampling method, which method is going to adapt. So what we have to do? What
We should
next?
collect data, sir.
What?
We should collect the data, sir.
We should collect the data. Very good. Next, another person.
so we have to frame in a tabular form.
Yeah, next.
We have to determine sample size.
Yeah, okay. So before selecting a sample method, also we need to determine that how much sample we need to take. Next, think once, think 30 seconds and give the back. Guess. So somebody told you that, who told that we need to collect the information?
Kavyashree, sir.
Kavyasri. So can you give the answer that, so how we can collect the information?
By conducting survey, sir.
By conducting survey. How you can conduct the survey?
By asking them personally, sir. Means direct primary data.
Yeah, very good. By asking the primary data. So, do you, before asking the question, will you prepare something?
Yes, sir. We will prepare questionnaire, sir.
Yes, very good. There is a, we need to prepare the questionnaire, right? So after selecting a sample method, what we have to do? Simple. We need to frame a questions. What type of questions we are going to ask? Okay. So after framing the questions, so that is called questionnaire. So by taking the questions only, we need to go to the field work. So nothing but we need to go to the particular households. Then only we will ask the questions. Okay, that is the case. That is we should learn. And that is called collect the information from the sample. Then how we can collect the information? Nothing but through prepare questions or questionnaires, right? And so here, before collect the information, yeah, we should keep in mind that what type of questions, what is your objectives, right? So that is called how we are going to take some steps towards to conduct a survey, right? So before going to conduct a survey, we need to prepare the questions, right? Okay. So when we are preparing the questions, we should keep in mind that, so what type of things will happen while we are preparing the questions, or after preparing the questions, what we have to follow, what we need to follow. Then the main topic is called, that is called principal steps in sample survey. What are the principal steps in sample survey? What are the principal steps in sample survey? Nothing but when we are going to conduct a survey, what are the steps we need to follow? What are the steps we need to follow? So there are 11 steps to conduct a survey. For example, say anything, whatever we are going to do something, there are some steps will be there. So in order to conduct a survey, there are some steps. There are 11 steps. See, the first one is define objective of the survey. Nothing but we need to define that. What is our objectives? Nothing but, for example, your objective is different from my objectives. For example, you have interested to learn about that industrial labors. Okay, but I am interested to learn about. I am interested to do research on agricultural labors, right? Some of the people are interested to do research on software engineers. Okay, so there is agriculture sector, industrial sector, and service sector. So there are different sectors, right? So somebody have interest in their own field, nothing but their interested area. So within the interested area, so we need to define that what is our main objectives of the research or survey. Have you got understood that point? I think I will explain one by one also later. Don't worry. Then after determining the objectives, so we need to choose the population to be sampled. Okay, so here, for example, after written objectives, then we need to choose the population to be sampled. Nothing but what type of population we are going to consider. Okay, so from the population we need to take samples. For example, if you are interested to do research in agriculture, you need to take, so agriculture farmers are the your population, right? So from the agriculture farmers, whatever you are going to pick up some people, that is called your sample farmers. So after deciding the sample farmers, you need to collect the data. That is the data to be collected. Decide the data to be collected. Nothing but data should be collected. Then after collecting the data, that is called the degree of precision required. Nothing but how much data we have gathered. Whatever we gathered some data, whether it is precision, nothing but whether the data is good reliability or not, whether the data is comfortable for our research or not. For example, when we are collecting information, we need to check whether the data is there any major errors or not. We need to check all those things. Then after that, we need to decide that method of measurements. So what method we are going to measure? Nothing but which method we are going to adapt. So which method we are going to adapt? Nothing, which techniques we are going to apply. Then decide the sampling frame. Deciding the sampling frame. So as per only you need to list all the names in order to select. Then decide the scheme of selection of the sample. You have to decide that which scheme is going to apply for the selection of the sample. Okay. So after selecting a sample, so then after conducting a survey, what you have to do, you need to conduct a pre-test, that is called, as I told you, the pilot study. After selecting all those things, after collecting the data, you need to analyze it. That is called a pilot study. Okay. So for example, your sample size is 100. So before conducting all sample size, nothing but before collecting information from the 100, so before that you need to select 50 to 20 sample from that 100. So after collection the data, you need to do some pre-test whether the data is reliable, whether the data is accurate, and whether the data is can fulfill our objectives or not. Okay, that is called pre-test. That is called our pilot study. Pilot study. So after pilot study, we need to organize the field work and decide suitable methods. Statistical methods, nothing but we need to use which type of methods we are going to adapt: averages, correlation, regression, standard deviation, mean deviation, frequency, some tables or graphs. So whatever the statistical methods are there, we need to adapt. Then decide how to present the summary and analysis of the data. Nothing, after getting a results, how you can present your data. That is a summary and analysis of the data. So these are things one by one we will come to know that. The first one is objective of the study. See here, the objective of the study has to be clearly defined and well understood by the person planning to conduct. So here, see, you are the researchers. For example, you are going to conduct a survey. So what about the nothing but what is main objective of the survey? You should be know first. Then only you need to be able to explain about your objectives, and not to fulfill your objectives, you need to frame such kind of questions. Okay. So in that case only, we should be clearly note down always that what is our objectives when we are going to conduct. Nothing but before conducting any surveys. For example, see, the objective is OBG, and nothing objective is examine the cost of cultivation of vegetable growers. Cost of cultivation of vegetable growers. So yeah, what type of cultivation is going on vegetables, for example. So from starting to at the end, we need to know that how much the vegetable growers can spend for the cultivation, right? So each and every stage we need to get some data. Only if you ask the question, what is the cultivation of vegetable charge at the end of the harvesting or before sowing the season. So before the sowing season, you need to get information. After sowing the season, meanwhile, while growing the trees, they need to spend some money for the cultivation, right? So all those things up to the end of the crop, before beginning the crop. So we need to take all the costs which are involved for the cultivation. Okay. So for example, if you take that labor charge, for example, in agriculture, labor charge. So what type of labors are there? For example, yourself also you can do work for your own cultivation. So that is called there is hired labor or own labor charges, right? We need to add all those things. For example, somebody came for that on the basis of charges, so we need to spend, we need to give money to them, right? So that money and whatever you work, so you to be add your money also, nothing but your labor charge also. Then only they will come to know that how much cost per acre or for a particular crop. In complex surveys, for example, if you take, sometimes the objective is forgotten. Some people will say that they've written in their pages their objectives, while they are conducting a surveys, they'll forget easily, and they will collect the information, and at the end, so there is some issues which are far away from the objectives. For example, after conducting a research, after gather the information, when they analyze it, the results are not away from their objectives, right? That is the case. The results are different and your objective is different, because the results cannot reflect your objectives. So in that case, most of the people do at the beginning of their research. Okay, so be clear that when we are conducting a surveys, what is your main objectives, please keep in mind. I hope you understood about the objective of the survey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then second one is decide and choose the population to be sampled. So we need to choose the population. So based on our survey, our objectives of the survey, so we need to choose the population from which the information can be obtained. For example, if you take it to account, I need to do survey on agriculture. So simple agriculture, nothing but, so those who are cultivating the crops only, so the farmers are my population. Am I right, dear students? For example, if I want to do research on industrials problems or problem faced by the laborers, so those who are working in industries, the laborers are my population. All the laborers are my population. Or if you take into account that the determined medical facilities in a hospital, so what are the facilities are available in a particular medical hospitals or hospitals? Who are my population? Patients. Nothing but the patient know that what they requires, and doctors may also know that. But for example, in order to get more information, we need to ask the patients only. Nothing but what are the facilities are provided by the hospital major management, right? So that my population is patients, those who are admitted in the particular hospital. Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For example, if I want to get information, for example, if you take into account that always I'm saying that don't think it is a bore thing, but is not easy only. Somebody's going on. See, I want to take a feedback from you that you people are my population. Okay, because I'm not teaching to other disciplines, right? So you are my population. So from the population only, I need to select on some samples. Okay, that is the decide the population. The next one, third one, decide the data to be collected. So after deciding that the population, what you have to do, you need to collect the data. So that is, it is important to decide that which data is relevant for fulfilling your objectives of the survey, and to note that no essential data is omitted. Means see, when we are collecting information, we should be clear about our objectives. So in that case only, we need to take the data. And same thing, that note that no essential data is omitted. So whatever the major essential data is required, we don't want to omit, nothing but we don't want to delete, or we don't want to skip that, right? So if there is some, for example, you know, to get some example, see, I that profits of the farmers. So major thing, I need to get revenue and cost, right? So for revenue minus cost only, they will get the profits, right? So in order to get profit, the main code of main essential data is what are their cost and what are the revenues, how they are getting revenues. Okay, so how much they are spending, how much they're getting revenues. So each and every element I need to take, I need to carefully, I will take the data from with respect to particular variables. That is called no essential data is omitted, nothing but escape or delete or remove, like this. Okay. And sometimes too many questions are asked. That is called loaded questions. See, when I was told you that about sampling errors. So when you ask more questions, repeat again and again, some questions are which are repeated. For example, see, if I'm asked the question that there is a one boy, so can I ask that what is your gender? Hello?
No, sir.
For example, when I'm taking a feedback from you directly, so see, when I interact with the people only, so if I ask the boy, what is your gender? Can I ask such kind of questions? We need not to ask. If I
No,
ask the
sir.
girl, what is your gender? No need to ask the question. So by
Sir.
looking at them only, we need to into develop such kind of things only. No need to ask the questions. So we need to fill our answers. So such kind of question we need to escape. So when we are preparing the more questions, which is a very bore also, even every time also. For example, see, if I take the class regularly 2 or 3 hours, you will get more bored, right? So that is why most of the thing they will get more bore also. So that is the case. When we are preparing the questions, should be clear that the question should be only short, and the number of questions also very short. Nothing but number of questions are very less, and some of their outcomes are never utilized. For example, sometimes we will ask the questions, but whatever we get some answers, on the base of answer we will not get anything. Okay, and this lowers the quality of the response, and in turns results in lower efficiency in statistical inferences. So whatever we get some results which are not a good one, nothing but when you are asking the questions which are not relevant, so that type of questions may reduce our efficiency, nothing but surveys efficiency. Then fourth one, decide the degree of precision required. See, the results of any sample survey are always subject to some uncertainty. So see, the precision required. For example, when we are conducting a survey, so when we are doing some surveys, so the outcome, there is some uncertainty. There is some uncertainty. Yeah, somebody is there. Yeah. Such uncertainty can be reduced by taking large samples. For example, see, when you take some small sample, you will get some uncertainty. Nothing but you may not come to know that whether it is right or wrong. For example, as I told you that if I take the feedback from you that if I take only 2 samples or 3 samples, so I may have the uncertainty because the results are very not good or not bad, but have the uncertainty. Nothing but if I take more samples, then I will come to know that whether my class is good or bad, right? So that is called the degree of precision required. Nothing but here when we are conducting a surveys, we need to take more samples. That is called generally most of the people will take 10%, more than 10%, more than 10%. Such uncertainty can be reduced by taking large samples. Nothing but when you take more samples only, we will come to know that whether the whatever we get some results, that is results are good or not. We will decide. And this involves more cost and more time. For example, instead of asking 2-3 members, if I ask the 10 members, so it may be take more time. And when you are visiting some field work, nothing but when you go to some field work in other villages or mandals, so you have to spend a lot of money. So it is very important to decide about that required degree of precision in data. So by looking at this one only, we need to understand that each and every survey, it should be required the degree of precision in their data, and this needs to be conveyed to the surveyor also. For example, see, when we're conducting a survey which is more precision, I think, but instead of taking 5 samples, if they will take 8 or 7 samples, so sometimes the 2 sample may in the particular questionnaire they did not fill out all the questions sometimes. So we will remove the questions and we will add other questions in the study. Okay, that is the case. We have to maintain some precision in your data and decide the method of measurement. So see here, the choice of measuring instrument or method of measure the data from the population needs to be specified clearly. So for example, which method you are going to adapt? For example, before collecting the data, so we need to go through which method we are going to adapt. So whether the interview or questionnaire or personal visit. For example, interview may conduct through online also sometimes or offline. The questionnaire we can say that through mail, through direct, or personal visit also sometimes if you take into account personal visit. Right? So here see interview, for example, directly personal interview or physical interview, we can say that directly, or online interview. Right? So which method you are going to adapt? Per you have to conduct a survey and questionnaire, right? And personal visit. So for example, sometimes we will use a combination of any of these approaches. For example, sometimes we will use combinations. So personally we get interview and we will ask the questions and we will fill the answers. Okay. So these are the methods which we are going to measure how we can, which method you are going to adapt. Is it clear, dear students?
Sir, please explain degree
Hello?
of precision. Sir, fourth point.
Yeah.
Sir, degree of
Yeah,
precision.
okay. Yeah, precision. See that when we are conducting a survey, for example, if you take only, if you want to collect 100 samples, okay. For example, if you collect only 5 samples, what will happen on the base of the 5 sample results? For example, if you want to do research, which, yeah, for example, which is your interested area for the research?
Bihar, sir.
No. Area means agriculture or industry or service sector.
Sir, agriculture.
Agriculture. Okay. For example, if you want to do research on agriculture, you want to know that what are the problems faced by the farmers, right? So before conducting a research, only you need to decide that you are going to conduct, you are going to select 100 farmers. Okay. So instead of taking 100 farmers, if you take only 90, okay. So when you're conducting 90 sample, after taking 90 sample data, if you get some results, okay, the results may be you may have some uncertainty, nothing but you cannot come to conclude that whether the sample results can represent all the population or not. Am I clear? Or shall I explain another example?
Sir, one more example.
Yeah, one more. See, main thing is the feedback. So feedback on my class. Okay. For example, if I ask the feedback from only 3 or 4 people in your class, what type of questions? What type of answers I may get? For example, 2 people will say that, oh, not good, sir. Okay, not good. Okay, 2 people may say good. So by taking only 4 sample, I may get 2 for not good, only 2 for good. Okay. So if I take more samples, nothing but more than 10 samples, what should I get? Nothing but what are the answers may I get? Maybe some within the 10 people. So some may be worst, they will say the worst, some may be good, very good, very good. Okay. So this is the case, the precision that should be required, nothing but when you are taking more samples, so the data can be precision, nothing but we will get a quality response, nothing but we will get the accurate results. Am I clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for example, if you take into your Bihar, recently the elections was happened in your Bihar. For example, if I ask you only, so which party is going to win? For example, you are very favor to one X party. Okay, so you say that the particular X party is going to win. Okay, if I take only one sample, that is you only. If I conclude that the X party is going to win, what will happen? So I may have some uncertainty thing that, because by taking only one sample, I may not conclude, right? So here, when we are taking more samples only, then I will come to know that the particular party is going to win. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
See, that is the case. The news channels people and they will do some magics. They will not explain that how much sample they have taken. Have you seen anywhere?
No, sir.
No, without taking a sample, nothing, but they didn't mention that how much sample they have taken, and simple they will conclude that results. So I have conducted a survey on particular state. The people express that the particular party is going to win, right? Or the particular party is going to get majority. So that is called some precision. See, recently the most of the exit polls given the result that the alliance is going to nothing but the Congress or JD, some other JD or some other parties. So they are going to win. But when it comes to that reality, so the BJP and other party has won the majority seats. Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a method of measurement. Then sixth one is decide the sampling frame. So what is meant by sampling frame? Sampling frame is nothing but list of all the sample units is called sample frame or sampling frame. Okay. So here the sampling frame has to be clearly specified. Nothing but serial number wise we need to specify it, or on the basis of strata, small farmers, marginal farmers, small farmers, medium farmers, and large farmers. So we need to clearly, we should be mentioned clearly, and we should be clearly specified. So these farmers are belongs to the marginal farmers. These farmers belongs to the small farmers. These farmers belongs to the medium farmer. These farmers belongs to the large farmers. The population is divided into sampling units such that units cover the whole population, and every sampling unit is tagged with the identification. That is called marginal, small, medium, large. The frame must cover the whole population, and the unit must not overlap each other. Nothing but there is no overlap. Nothing but if any person included in marginal, if that person is included in the small farmers, so we should keep in that there is no overlap. Okay, is it clear that the overlap?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, if you take the sample, it can be individual member in the family or whole family. So the next one is decide the scheme of selection sample. So which sampling method you are going to? That is the scheme of selection sample, and the size of the sample needs to be specified for the given sampling plan. So here it can help in determining the comparison relative cost and time of different sampling plans. So when you are preparing the sampling plans, the sampling plan depends on the cost and time. Cost and time. For example, see when we are discussing about the sampling method, so always there is some advantage disadvantages. See, so on the base of the cost and time, we should be followed. Okay, so it depends on the researchers. I am not saying that. So if you want, instead of there is a cost and time factors are there. So where there is a less cost and where there is a less time consumed, you can do such kind of research. You may not get. For example, if you want to do research on tribals, so you need to go to their tribal area. The tribals are very away from the villages also. Okay, and there's a high time consuming because without spending more time with them, they may not reveal that some answers, and they will not give some replies also when you are asking the questions. See, the most of the anthropologists, they will live with them 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. Okay, so that is the case. Which method you are going to adapt, and the method and plan adapted for the drawing a representative sample should also be detailed. It means that in which method you are going to adapt. Okay, and after taking the data, simply you need to pre-test or pilot study. That is a pilot testing or pilot study. So it is advised to try the questionnaire and fill the methods on small scales. So when we are testing the pre-testing, so whatever we prepare the questions, that say set of questions are called questionnaire. Again, I'm repeating, set of questions are called questionnaire. So how you can write question paper? Nothing but when you are writing exam, there is a question paper will give. So in the question paper, what are there? There is a set of questions. That is called question paper. But when you are conducting research, when you are preparing the questions, that questions are called, that is called questionnaire. Questionnaire is called set of questions. Set of questions. So when you are conducting a surveys, when you are preparing the questionnaire also, we should be clear that there are small scales, nothing but. So for example, you may have idea about Likert scales, 3-point Likert scale, 5-point, 7-point, 9-point. For example, if I have the question, for example, not good, good, very good. This is a 3-point Likert scale. If you take 5-point Likert scale, very bad, bad, good, very good, excellent. That is called scale will be high, nothing but 5-point scale. Okay, so these are the types of questions which we should be applied. Am I clear about this small scales?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And then next, this may reveal some troubles and problems beforehand, which the surveyor may face in field in the large scale surveys. Sometimes they will not say that if you ask that, for example, so as you studied, as you are educated, if I ask the question, what is your opinion or my teaching? So I may prepare the 5 answers. That is a very bad, bad, good, very good, excellent. So you may understood and you may give the answer, proper answer. But for example, if I ask the question to a farmer, for example, have you, what is your opinion on particular scheme? For example, Raitu Bindu or Raitu Bandhu, some other schemes are there. Raitu Bima, some other schemes. If I ask that questions, what they can understand, what is, they will ask that, what is meant by very bad and what is meant by bad. So here, such kind of answers, so they should not know that. So in that case only, we should be mention less, nothing but we should be prepared a small scale on the base of small scales, nothing but very bad, good or very good. Simple they will give. In Telugu we can say that బాగలేదు in the achaniye, like this. So this is the questions which we need to ask. Then after testing the pilot study or pre-test, so we need to organize the field work. So how to conduct surveys, how to handle the business administrative issues. So see, this is the thing that then before after pre-testing, so we need to go to collect all the information from all the samples. Am I clear this? So don't confuse that. We need to select a few people only from our sample. So after testing the pre-test results, so we need to go again to collect the information from all samples. Okay. So here, before enter into the field work, see, we need to know that we need to be clearly mention that how to handle the business administrative issues, nothing but how we can handle. See, for example, you are the one researchers, you need to collect the information from the 200 people. Will you go and collect only one person? If you have the patience, if you have the time, you may go and collect. But if you don't have the time, you may employ others to collect the information. So when, for example, see, I am doing a research in particular area. So what I can do, simple, I don't have the time to collect the information. See, so if I may ask you that, can you come, can you work as a research assistant? Okay. So if you are agree, so I need to explain each and everything how you are going to collect information. So simple, if I hand over the questions, go and collect. So the way of question is different, the way of answer is different. What I expected. Okay. So in the meanwhile, we need to be clear that we need to give provide proper training to the surveyors. Nothing but field investigators. Field investigators. So, for example, I am a principal investigator. So I need to employ the research assistants. Nothing but I need to give the proper training to my research assistants. What type of questions you need to ask? How you are going to ask? That is the main thing. Okay. So that is a proper training we should give to the our surveyors or our employees, our assistants. And what is the procedures are there? And plans for handling the non-response So nothing but when they are not responding, how we can ask such kind of questions indirectly. Okay. So for example, sometimes as I told you that sometimes they will not respond. That is called non-respond questions. How we are going to plan? How nothing but how we are going to handle that such kind of questions to get some informations, right? So that is the plans for handling this non-response and missing observations. Sometimes see, for example, if you take into account in the field work, when you are entering to the village or if you enter into the particular home, if you ask by sitting on a chair, if you ask that questions, for example, do you have the chairs? For example, infrastructure related questions, for example. Hello, dear student, are you listening?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
For example,
Sir.
sometimes say when you're sitting in the on chair, if you ask such kind of questions, it is very irritating questions. For example, by looking at TV only, if you ask that, do you have the TV? Okay. So by looking at the, by observing some things which we need to write down. Okay. Nothing but we need to record all those things. And etc. are some of the issues which need to be addressed for the organizing the survey work in the fields. And the procedure for early checking of the quality of written should be prescribed, and it should be clarified. Clarified how to handle a situation when representative is not available. At the same time, the principal investigator should be tell to the assistants how they can handle when the respondent is not available. So see, earlier I told you that if the particular respondent is not available on the particular day, something the person may he went to the some parties. What we can do? So meanwhile, we need to check on the sampling frame whether is there any other person is available or not. Okay. So in that case only we should be take care all those things when we are doing the field work. Okay. Am I clear about the how we can organize the field work? Only this is a simple way. The basic studies only I am saying. So a lot of things will happen when we are doing field work. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then the 10th one is after collecting the collecting the information from all the sample, then what we have to do, we need to analyze the data, right? So in order to analyze the data, what we have to do, we need to decide suitable statistical method, which method is applicable for our objectives, which method we are going to adapt. So after organizing the field work, select suitable statistical method. That is the percentage. For example, if I have a question, that is what is your opinion on my class? So I may give the answers. That is the options: very good, very bad, bad, good, very good, excellent. So I may calculate a percentage also. Okay. For example, if I ask the question, what is your income? So by looking at our income, so simple we can calculate averages, right? So for example, if I collect the information from the 5 students, what is your monthly income? Whatever you are getting from your parents. Okay. So if I calculate that kind of questions, I may calculate averages. Nothing but on average, the 5 students are getting 4,000 per month or 10,000 per month. Is it right? Is it okay for you? Answers? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And correlation, the relation, in order to know the relationship between the two variables, consumption and income. See, for example, how much you are getting income and how much you are spending. That is your expenditure and your income. Is there any relation or not? Some people may not spend more money, even they are getting money from the parents. Some people, without getting money from parents, they will spend more money. How? Borrowing. Okay. So we want to know that whether there is any relationship between the correlation income and consumption or expenditure, right? So
Yes,
and
sir.
other regression, in order to know the cause and effect. Yeah, please. Yes, please. Who is this? Hello?
Sir,
You can ask me Amma questions. Yeah, please. Yeah, you can ask me. Hello?
According to our data, we have to decide whether
Yeah.
we want to calculate percentage or ratio, average, no, sir. According to our data, we have to choose the perfect one.
Yeah, which method is applicable? So no need to apply all the techniques to only one variable, right? If it is relevant, you can apply. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for example, as I told you that if I want to take feedback from you, so if I frame only one question, that is the options is very bad, good, very good, excellent. So I may not use correlation, right? So only I may use percentage. Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyone doubt? Some Shravani is going to ask something. Shravanti or yeah. Shravanti.
Sir, I didn't ask anything, sir.
So somebody wanted to ask something. Who is that?
sir, once you
Priya
tell
or
about
Yami?
regression, sir.
Yeah. See, in regression is nothing but in order to study the cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect relationship. So what is cause and effect relationship? See, for example, when you are taking into account the consumption and income, see, consumption is a dependent variable, income is independent. As income increases, the consumption goes up, right? So when your income increases, how much the consumption is going to increase? So we can use that regression also. Okay, nothing but if your income is increases by 100 rupees, how much your consumption is going to increase? For example, if you take at the time of admission, so you may get 10,000 per month, for example. Okay, so after 2 months only, you may ask your parent that 10,000 is not sufficient of daddy, so you can send 12,000 rupees. Okay, see, in that case, your income increased by 2,000. Okay, then I want to know that how much the consumption is going to increase. In that case, I may use regression. Is it okay? Answer is it understood? Shravanti or someone? Who is it?
Sir, understood, sir. Khyati, sir.
Khyati. Okay. Thank you. Then after analyzing the data, see, we need to present summary. The summary of the analysis of the data, how we can present it. So it is to be noted that based on the objectives of the data, we need to select suitable statistical tools as we discussed, and which can answer the relevant questions also. See, as per the questions only we need to present. As per requirement also, we need to present. Nothing but the summary form only we need to present it. So in order to use the statistical tool, a valid data set is required, and this indicates the choice of the response to be obtained for the questions in the questionnaires. For example, on the base of question, for example, at the starting stage, I may ask the question that is, what is your household? Instead of first question is nothing but state, district, mandal, or taluka, or village. Okay, then is household address, nothing but house number. Okay, his name, his age, gender, right? How many people, number of sample household, number of family size, nothing but how much family size, nothing but how many people are living in your home. Okay, such kind of questions, whatever we have, when you are representing, so if you say systematically, then we'll come to know that how we are presenting. That is how we are presenting a summary. Is it clear, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Hello? So may I show you one thing about you know, to understand easily?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. If time permits, I will show you. See, socioeconomic characteristics of the vegetable growers. See here, I have presented gender-wise first. Okay, gender, male, how many females are there, how many males are. Is it visible for you? I think.
No, sir.
No,
Hello?
sir.
Sir.
No, sir.
Just a minute. Just wait.
No, sir.
Wait. I hope now it is visible.
Yes,
sir.
Sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
See, presented a gender-wise sample represented respondent. See, male and how many females are there out of 240. So now, then again, I presented next step is age of the respondent. Okay, age up to 25, 26 to 35. Okay. Then marital status, married or unmarried, and social status, category wise, CST, BC, OC, and type of family, nuclear or joint, and the number of family members, below 4 members, 5 to 8 members, above 8 members. Then type of house, which type of house they have, Pakka house, RCC, upstate sheets, others, and other. Then main occupation or total land owned by the sample households. So this like this, we need to ask one by one. Have you understood that about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir.
Yes. Okay. And see here, the data has to be qualitative and quantitative, nominal, ordinal. For example, see, when we're collecting the information, the data should be in all the forms. Qualitative data we should calculate, we should be gathered, and quantitative data we should be gathered, and nominal data we should be gathered, and ordinal data we should be gathered. So here, as you know, what is the qualitative data? Nothing but gender. Okay. So qualitative data nothing but gender. So we cannot say that males are greater than females, right? Am I right, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
For example, sometimes see color. For example, if you take into consider, so quantitative data nothing but your income and age, on expenditure, such kind of questions comes under the quantitative data. So nominal data comes under the gender. Okay, some of the variables comes under the nominal data. So ordinal data, what is ordinal data? Can anybody can guess? Yeah, ordinal data
Representing
comparison.
numbers.
Yeah, not numbers, but we can say that which is better than one is better than two is better than one, like this. For example, as I told you that feedback. So very bad, good, very good, excellent. Okay, this is called ordinal data. Ordinal data. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sometime we will ask that, do you like that product? Yes or no? Yes or no comes under the qualitative data. For example, first time we ask that, would you like my class? Yes or no? Only if yes. So what is the reasons? If no, what is the reason? If yes, why you like this class, for example? If no, what is the reason? Okay, such kind of questions comes under the qualitative. Okay, I hope you understood about that, how we can present summaries.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you're conducting research only, you will get a brief on understanding, and you will get more knowledge also. So you're at the beginning level only. Then after getting a complete questionnaire back, it needs to be edited and amend recorded errors, delete, and some errors data. For example, see, when you are gathered information from the population, so you need to edit, you need to go through all the questionnaires, whether is there any mistakes or not. For example, see, if you take it to consider, for example, if somebody will ask the what is your age, if you take into account, they may say 35. If you take 55 or 53, sometimes we'll write, for example, what is your expenditure? 6,000. Instead of writing 6,000, we may add one extra zero. It means that 60,000. So we need to be clear that we need to go through the proper verification or proper checking. We can say that. And when we're estimating the models, also see tabulating their procedures and methods of estimation and tolerance amount of error in estimating. That needs to be decided before that present the data. So yeah. So if anybody have the doubt up to now, what is mean sampling theory and what are the steps to conduct a survey or in conducting a survey?
No, sir.
No.
No doubt,
Okay.
sir.
So shall I take one more half an hour or shall I give the break?
Break, sir.
Because I think most of the people, yeah, because it is 1.5 hour now, so it may be get bored. So I will inform you about the time. If the time permits only, I will take. Otherwise, you may take rest also because it's the second Saturday, na?
Yes.
Yeah.